Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will start the journey of pattern programming. In the process, you'll understand more on loops, how to write loops inside loop, which is nested loop. Also, whatever fundamental concept you have learned, operators, conditional, which is if else, and loops, you will have good hold on that. You will be having the ability to think and write a logic to draw any complex pattern. I'll be teaching you such a logic wherein operators, conditionals and loops are used extensively, so that in the process you can also have good practice of all the fundamentals which you have learned so far. Before I get into this, first there is a small topic which I would like to highlight here, which is system.out.println and print. You know very well, if you want to print anything on your console using Java programming language, you may have to use system.out.println. That is a often. We also have an option to use print also. Now we need to understand first what is the difference between println and print. Let me open the IDE directly here. So if you want to print something, of course, based on the IDE you are using, there are a lot of shortcuts. But the statement which we may have to write here is system.out.println. Within the double quotes, I will say print one star, whatever it could be, not just star, it could be anything. Fine. Println means whatever you're printing, that will be printed. And you're asking cursor to move to the next line. That means after printing this, if you do something else, some other activity, printing activity, that will happen in a new line. Example, I will say system.out.print. Again, I would like to print star here. Now again, let me just print one more statement, system.out.println, again star here. Now, in order to print star on your console, I am using println. ln means print this. After this, whatever next printing will happen, that should happen in the next line, not on the same line. If I have to run this, we can see stars will be printed one below the other. In place of println, if you go with print means print this star and the next activity of printing should happen in the same line. That means after printing this on the console, this cursor should not move to the next line. It has to be in the same line. It will print one star. After printing the star, cursor will be in the same line. That means the next printing, whatever you do on your console, that will happen on the same line. Now for all this, I have used print, not the ln. That means print this star, be on the same line. Don't go to next line. ln means print this, go to the next line. Print means we have not used print ln here, only print. Print this star, be on the same line. That means next printing activity will happen on the same line. If I have to run this, you can notice print. Maybe after printing 3 star, I want the other things to happen on the next line. In the last line, I will say here print ln. You can see here, I have told print here, print this star, be on the same line. The next printing will happen on the same line. Again, I have told print this star, be on the same line. One more star printed. And again, I'm telling print this star, but you have told ln. After printing the star, go to the next line. So 3 stars will be printed in the same line and cursor will move to the next line. Please see here. I'm printing 3 star will be on the same line. But after this, whatever next activity you will do, it could be anything. Maybe I'll say here hi. Any printing, doesn't matter. This will be printed on the next line. Because while printing this star, I have told print this, but go to the next line after printing. Fine. Here I have told print this, be on the same line. Print this, be on the same line. 2 star printed, the 3rd star also in the same line. The cursor is still in the same line. 3rd star printed. While printing the 3rd star on the same line, you have told please go to the next line after printing this. So the next printing activity will happen on the next line. If I have to just run this program, you can see here, it is printed on the same line, but the next activity happened on the next line. So basically, print method will print whatever you're doing, whatever task you have given here on your console, and the next printing will happen on the same line. If you go with print method, print ln, it will print, and the next printing activity on your console will happen on the next line. That means print this, go to the next line. I hope these fundamentals you could able to understand. Now it's time to move to the nesting of loops, more on the pattern programming. Okay, the requirement here is very simple. I want to print 5 stars or maybe 4 stars, doesn't matter how much you want. Let's go with the 5 on the same line. Great. Now all of them are in the same line. So should I go with system.out.println or print? Your answer must be print method, because after printing the star, I should stay in the same line to print the other stars. Fine. And also, should I write multiple system.out.print here, or we should write only once? Using the loop, we should make our program to repeat for us how much ever time we want. Fine. So I want to print 5 stars. I will write the statement system.out.print method I will use. Of course, it has to be full. I'm writing shortcut, but I hope you can understand that. Print, and within the double quote, I will print 1 star. Great. But this printing the star, print I have used here, on same line should happen for 5 times, not once. You will not be writing multiple times. In the loops, we have already understood that we should write this once and make our program to repeat for us. In that case, whatever activity you want to repeat, that you have to keep within the body of the loop. Okay, this activity I want to repeat for 5 times. Now I would like to go with the for loop, which you are already aware of. I will say here, integer type of maybe I. Please start from the 0. Go up to 5. Less than 5 is up to 4. 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally 5 times I want. I plus plus. 1 by 1, please increment the value of I. If it is 0, make it 1 and check the condition. If it is 1, make it 2, check the condition. Fine. So now let's analyze this. I will start from here. Of course, the I value is 0 initially. We have understood this in our for loop class. One more time, before I get into the nesting of loops, I'm discussing this. Again, the second part is I less than 5. That means what is the current value of I is 0. Less than 5, it is true. If it is resulting in true, whatever body of the loop you have written, that will be executed. So on your console, 1 star will be printed. Since you have told print, after printing the star, cursor will not go to the next line. Cursor will be on the same line. Again, fourth part, update will happen. After body, update. I plus plus, current value of I is 0. 0 will become 1. It will increment the existing value of a variable by 1. So 0 became 1. Again, the condition is checked. Is I less than 1? The current value of I is 1. Is I, that is 1, less than 5? Less than 5. Now this condition is true. 1 is currently, of course, less than 5. So again, the body of the loop will be executed. Inside the body of the loop, what are you doing? You are printing 1 star. Since you have used print while printing, the cursor will remain on the same line. That means next printing also will happen on the same line. Similarly, I value will be incremented to 2. Again, 2 less than 5. 1 more star will be printed. Again, I value incremented to 3. 3 less than 5. 1 more star will be printed because this is also true. I value is incremented to 4 by following the similar pattern which we have discussed now in the for loop video also. Fine. I 4 less than 5. So of course, 1 more star is printed. After which I value became 5 by incrementing. This process will follow. Fine. And 5 less than 5. No. Condition fails. Control will come out of the loop. After the loop, by chance, if there is any activity which you want to do on the next line, after printing 5 stars, after completing this loop, I will say here system.out.println. That means next printing activity I want in the next line. So cursor will go from here to the next line. So basically this loop we have already understood, right? When we have discussed the concept of for loop. Now what we are trying to achieve here, please see very carefully. Now the requirement here is I want to print 5 stars, one below the other. What do you mean by that? This is my goal which I want to achieve. As you can see on your screen, this is what I want to achieve right now. All of you know how to print 5 stars in one line. Fine. For which we may have to write one loop. I will say system.out.please print 5 stars. Great. In single line. So this activity I want to repeat. Print I have used here 5 stars on the same line. So I will keep this entire activity within the loop. I will say here for integer type of, you can give any name to I, J, K, start and whatever variable name you want you can give. I will give here J. equals to 0. I will say here j less than 5, j plus plus. Based on whatever we have discussed, this entire loop will print 5 stars in one line. And this activity I want to repeat for 5 more times, because same thing I want to do for 5 more times. You can see here 4 more times, totally 5 times. This is one time. Whatever code you can see on your screen, this will print 5 stars on same line. Fine. So same thing I want to happen for 4 more times, totally 5 times. Let's write the code in the IDE. As you can see, I have written the code. Maybe whatever variable name you want, you can give it. So that should not be a matter of concern. So let me just make it j for this. Okay, j. So j less than n and j plus plus. N means whatever value you have assigned here. I'm using println here. It has to be print. That means it will print 5 stars on the same line, which you can notice here. 5 stars on the same line. After printing 5 stars, I want the cursor to go to the next line. All right, great. It will go. Now printing 5 stars on the same line, I want to do it for 4 more times. So I will keep it for 4 more times. You can see here 3 times, 4 times, totally 5 times. So if I have to run this, you can see I am getting this agenda. Now, whenever you have a same activity which is repeating again and again, what comes into picture? Loops comes into picture. So instead of we manually writing this again and again, this entire activity which I want to repeat for 4 more times, totally 5 times, can I keep it within one more loop? Answer is yes. So this entire activity I want to repeat. So I will just say here, maybe I have already defined I equals to 0. I will say I less than n, I plus plus. That means whatever this entire activity is there, I want this entire activity to happen for 5 times. So all of you know, this will print whatever you can see on your screen. This will print 5 stars on the same line, and get after printing 5 stars, get the cursor in the next line. This activity of printing 5 stars on the same line, after printing the cursor should come to the next line. This entire activity I want to repeat again and again. So this entire activity I have kept inside one more loop. Loop inside loop is called as nesting of loops. So same thing, let me just explain how this will be executed. Now this activity I want to repeat, right? So same activity I will be writing for 4 more times, totally 5 times. So this activity, after printing 5 stars, I want the cursor to be in the next line. So println, this activity I want to repeat. So I'll keep it within one more loop. I will say here for integer type of I equals to 0, I less than maybe 5, I plus plus, I plus plus. So of course, loop execution will start from here. Number 1, I equal to 0. So inside I, 0 will be assigned. Great. I'm checking the condition. Is I less than 5? Inside I, we have 0. Is 0 less than 5? The answer is right. It will go inside the loop. Third part is loop, right? Now it is encountering one more loop here immediately. Then that loop execution will start. What are you telling here? J equals to 0. That means inside J, we have 0. Again, the condition is J less than 5. That means inside the J, we have, 0. Is 0 less than 5? So this is true. Again, the body of the loop. In the body of the loop, you are printing 1 star. After printing the star, J plus plus. J value will be 1. And after printing the J value, again this condition is checked. 1 more star is printed. Again, J value incremented to 2. Is 2 less than 5? True. 1 more star is printed. So like the way we have already discussed this for 3 times, this entire loop will print 5 stars in one line. At one position, this condition will result in false. The moment this condition is resulting in false, by incrementing the J value to 5, finally it will check is 5 less than 5, it will be false. The moment it is false, control will come out of this loop. The moment control is coming out of the loop, you are telling system.out.println. That means after this is over, go to the next line. Cursor is waiting here. Again, the outer loop value will be incremented, which is I plus plus. I will become 1. Is 1 less than 5? The condition is true. Then again, whatever code you have written inside the inner loop, that will be executed. That means one more row of 5 stars will be printed. At one position, inner loop condition will result in false, for which control will come out of this inner loop. It will come out of this inner loop. System.out.println. Again, it will print. No, I mean to say cursor will come into the next line. Again, outer loop incrementation will happen. It will become 2. Now, is 2 less than 5? Yes, condition is true. Again, the inner loop will execute for one more entire loop. I hope you are able to now understand how this is working, especially if you have watched whatever we have already discussed in the for loop video and this video from the scratch. I don't think so any issues you have. You can take down the pen and paper and also would like to analyze. I want you to analyze how this is working the way I have explained. Fine. So this is what whenever you want to repeat some activity, we write the loop. And this entire activity only I want to repeat. Keep this entire activity inside one more loop. The nesting of loops comes into picture. Loop inside loop. Now how this is executing, I hope you could able to understand. If there is any ambiguity, you can rewatch this entire video also. Same code I have written in the IDE also. You can see here. If I have to run this, you can see 5 stars we are getting. One below the other also, one beside the other also. So this activity will print 5 stars. After printing 5 star, cursor will be in the next line. And this entire activity I want to repeat for 5 more times. I have kept it inside one more loop. As simple as that. Fine. So that's all for nesting of loops. But we have just started the journey of pattern programming. Upcoming videos will be based on the pattern programming. We are going to explore so many examples. I am pretty sure all of you will be very much confident in a way that any pattern in front of you, you can give the solution. In fact, if the interviewer asks you, could you show your pattern programming skills, logical thinking skills by drawing my face as a pattern, you can definitely do that also. Such logic I am going to teach, where operators, loops, and the conditions will be used extensively. If they are using extensively, that means you will have good hands-on practice also on these fundamentals concepts. So we will be learning the pattern programming also. In the process, we will have better hands-on experience on the fundamentals of Java. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Please do like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and colleagues. We will meet again in the upcoming videos with pattern programming.